Okay, so I hope you can actually see my screen now.
Yes, we can see your screen rolling.
Wonderful. All right, so perhaps some of you are actually still wondering as to what will be the school, the program that you're going to take in Canada, and up until now, maybe you don't even know which area you're going to choose. All right, in terms of our presentation for today, I'll be giving you top reasons why you should study in Vancouver. So Vancouver is one of the top 5 livable cities in the world, and definitely it is actually being chosen as or actually voted as one of the best cities in the world. Second, peace, order, and government. You are actually assured of your safety in terms of like their crime rate. Definitely, Vancouver has a low crime rate. Third, Canada's most moderate climate. Climate. Actually, if you're gonna think about it, if you're gonna go to Google, a lot of people are actually sharing about the climate in Vancouver, and sometimes they say it as like Raincouver. All right, because it's a lot of times it's actually raining in Vancouver, which is a typical myth in terms of like the climate in Vancouver. The best part about in Vancouver, the climate is not extremely hot and it's not extremely cold in Vancouver. So if you're afraid of like cold shower, then definitely you might want to consider Vancouver. And of course, the next one we have is 52 from Vancouverites have a first language other than English. Factors about this is that Vancouver is actually the second largest immigrant city in Canada. If ever that we're going to think about it, if I'm not mistaken, there is 123 Filipinos in Vancouver right now. So it's roughly around 6% of their population in Vancouver. So if you're thinking na baka ma-homesick ako, there might be a problem if ever that I'll be going to Canada without me knowing anyone. So definitely that's not a problem for in Vancouver. And the last thing that we do have here is high opportunities for employment. Why? Because Vancouver is actually one of the fastest growing economy in Canada. And the best part about it is that they actually have a low unemployment rate, which is I think it is in October 2021, they currently have 6.2% of unemployment rate. As compared to any other cities, you are actually secured in terms of like working or having more opportunities once you actually graduated in Vancouver. So looking at, just to give you a bit of like a data here, so looking at the 10-year forecast from British Columbia Labor Market Outlook, it says here that there is actually like 860 job opportunities in the next 10 years in Vancouver, which will definitely help you out in terms of like looking for a part-time job. And if ever that you're actually interested in having a long-term goal in Canada, then definitely you might want to consider Vancouver as well. In terms of education and training opportunities, definitely we're seeing 77% of more than 860 job openings, they actually require some post-secondary education or training such as certificate or college diploma. All right, so I hope I was able to give you a bit of an idea about Vancouver. And just to give you an idea, we do have two institutions in Vancouver. I understand that the one that we posted on Facebook, and definitely we are pretty much focused on Acsenda. But right now, I just want to give you more options that you can actually choose so that you can make the right decision in order for you to move and study in Canada. So Educo has two institutions in Vancouver. The first one is Arbiters College, and the second one is Acsenda School of Management. And just to give you an overview, both schools are private post-secondary institutions offering competitive undergraduates or undergraduate degrees, all right? In terms of like immigration, the best part about our two schools, they are government approved designated learning institutions, which means IRCC has the approval, or definitely it won't be difficult for you to request for a study permit, because definitely we are the DLI or designated learning institution, which we can actually host international students. All right. And of course, the next one that we have, both have very convenient locations in downtown Vancouver. If ever that you're actually studying and you want to move to a different location, it's really important that everything is actually accessible. And that is actually the best thing about our two institutions. They are in the epicenter of Vancouver, where after school you can actually go to a restaurant, cafes, shopping centers, and if ever that you are actually into beaches and mountains, definitely Vancouver can offer you a tourist spots, a lot of tourist spots near our schools. And of course, I understand that in Canada, commuting is really a hustle, or it's really a challenge, but you don't need to worry about that, because based on our two locations for our two schools, they are just near the major public transportations like C-Bus and SkyTrain. And maybe the other question that you do have here is that what can we actually get from these two institutions? With our two institutions, we are actually offering co-op program or off-campus work permit up to 40 hours. And later on, I'll further discuss on how we can actually get that kind of, programs with our two institutions. All right. So let's go first with Acsenda School of Management. Acsenda School of Management is more focused on providing business-centric programs, which are Bachelor of Business Administration, and we do have Bachelor of Hospitality Management. All right, for business administration, if you are an aspirant or aspiring accountant, marketing officer, IT specialist, if you are really into international trading, then definitely you might want to consider business administration, because we do have those kind of like concentrations or what we call majors for business administration. But if you are that kind of person who's really into hospitality management, food and beverages, then definitely you might want to consider Bachelor of Hospitality Management. So in terms of the duration of the program of these two programs, all right, definitely it is 2.5 years or 2.5 years up to 4 years. So of course, it depends on your profile. If ever that you are a bachelor's degree holder here, then definitely we can actually assess your profile and we can submit it to our admissions team, and they can check if we can actually give you some sort of like transfer credit. So it's pretty much the same here in the Philippines, right? So that's what we do. If you're actually from a different college and then you're going to transfer, they will check the units that they can actually credit. So that's something that we can actually help you with in order for us to adjust or squeeze in the program duration, which will save you more money. All right. And one best thing about our two programs are we can actually offer you an internship. All right. If you are looking into having like a referral or like endorsement from other people that you've worked with, all right, definitely for BBA or like Bachelor of Business Administration, we are giving 3 months unpaid internship, which is not bad, because definitely they can give you a letter or of recommendation in terms of like you applying for a new job. And for our Bachelor of Hospitality Management, we are giving 6 months paid up internship. All right. It's not only to, earn more money, but the best thing about it is that this will give you somehow, this will help you to have like a retention in terms of like your workforce in Canada. So this, I think kadalasan na tinatawag natin, they might be able to absorb you, all right, in terms of like your performance, if ever that they were able to, enjoy working with you. So that's something that we do have here in Acsenda School of Management. All right, in terms of like after graduating, what will happen to us? Is there something that you can help us with? Well, right now with Acsenda School of Management, despite the fact that we are a private school, then you are still eligible to apply for a postgraduate work permit. All right, when we say postgraduate work permit, after graduating, you just have to get that kind of permit wherein you are entitled to work full time after graduating. All right, and you can actually get that up to 3 years. So this is actually beneficial for you if you are looking into having like a long-term goal in living and working in Canada. So that is for Acsenda School of Management. So the next institution we have is Arbiters College. So Arbiters College is more of like a conducive learning and fun learning. We are more focused in providing vocational education and training development to our students. So pretty much we are actually more familiar, or a lot of people are more familiar with us in terms of like English courses, and most of our programs are actually short courses. So as you can see here, we do have 6+6 co-op diploma in business management and in hospitality management. And of course, we do have 8+8 advanced co-op diploma in hospitality management. And the last one that we do have, which is more popular to Filipinos who are OFWs and who are more than 30 years old, then definitely they're actually taking advantage of this 12+12 honors co-op diploma with a specialization. So the best part about this programs that we are offering here in Arbitus, first is that they are ranging around 2 months to 2 years. All right, so if you're looking into like a short program, then definitely the right school for you is Arbitus. All right, and if ever that you're looking into a co-op program for some, if ever that you haven't heard about co-op, so definitely this is more of like a practicum or like an OJT that will give you a hands-on experience. Because here in Arbitus, what we do is that we don't want to, give like a training more of like theoretical. We want to make sure that we give you an experience for you to do the work in order for us to prepare you for your profession. So definitely you are a work-ready graduate after completing your program in Arbiters College. All right. So one thing that we are actually doing here in Acsenda and in Arbiters is that a lot of international students can actually work while studying. All right. And that's the reason why most international students in Canada can work up to 20 hours per week and full time of 40 hours per week during their scheduled breaks. So what we're doing here with Acsenda in terms of like us making sure that you are actually not you don't need to worry about after graduating what will be the job that I need to take. We're not just talking about a part-time job here, okay? We're talking about the job that you can get after graduating. And that is the reason why Acsenda created a digital portal which is called Jobs Connect. This Jobs Connect is actually, we do have the list of our industry partners that we work with in order for us to help you connect with them so that you can easily transition with those companies that we do have. So definitely you don't need to worry about roaming around Canada just for you to reach out with your friends and see what are the opportunities that you can have. Because definitely here in Acsenda, we can provide you this portal that will help you to, easily connect with those partners that we have. But in terms of like some part-time jobs for the students, so I have mentioned earlier that you can actually work 20 hours per week or 40 hours per week. All right, so maybe the question here is that what are the type of jobs that we can actually have during our break or like 20 hours to 40 hours of part-time jobs. So most of our students are actually doing some sort of like they are a crew member. Others are, of course, as we all know, Filipinos are really into social media. So definitely you can be like a social media assistant. All right. And others can actually be like a school student assistant. So you can work on campus for Acsenda and for Arbitus. And of course, you can be a guest service coordinator, and that is somehow for a hotel, and that is actually most of the popular jobs of our students. But if you're asking, is there like an office jobs that we can actually take for a part-time job? Yes, definitely. As a lot of stories that I've heard from other people that I've talked to, they've mentioned that they are actually doing some sort of like administrative or like clerical jobs in the office. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can actually have. All right, maybe you are still wondering if what will be the average income of students if ever that they will have like a part-time job in Vancouver. All right, so if we're talking about 20 hours per week job and then the average wage is $15, all right, so the estimated monthly income that you can get is roughly around $1,200. All right, so that's 1,200 Canadian dollars. And then if ever that during your summer break, then you are having more time, ample time for you to work part-time, then definitely you can actually earn as much as $3,400. So that is actually somehow will cover your expenses in terms of like your rent or in terms of like your apartment. But of course, I just want to set expectations that this computation is actually based or is computed on a minimum wage in the province. But maybe the question that you do have here is that enough to batong 1,200 and 2,400 for our expenses while we are actually studying? Well, it depends on the living lifestyle that you do have. All right. Of course, at the end of the day, it's up to you on how we're going to spend your money, but this is actually a good way for you. It's like another revenue stream that you can actually have in order for you to live and study in Canada. All right. So aside from the accreditations that we do have in Canada, all right, something that we are actually happy to share is the students' satisfactory rating. So in Acsenda, we do have 95% of our graduates are saying that their business degree prepared them for their preferred job or career path. All right, and 92% said that they receive value for their investment in their degree from Acsenda. All right, which is really great. And this is something that we are happy about in terms of like our students. And of course, for arbiters, the average satisfaction rating is actually 95%. All right, and this satisfaction rating comes from the class sizes, quality of education, student support, and of course, the mode of learning in Arbiters College. So maybe the next question that you have now is that I am currently giving you like two schools. So which school should I choose? All right. So I'll give you a bit of an idea or like a recap on what you can actually have for Acsenda. If you're going to study with them, definitely there will be a rewarding career through academic pathways. Because here in Acsenda, we are not just going to teach you, it's pretty much the same with arbiters. We're not just going to give you like a theoretical, or more of like a theoretical curricula. What we're doing here is that we are working hand in hand with our industry partners, wherein we create our syllabus or curriculum that is actually matched or that is actually helping you to be a work graduate ready. All right. And on top of that, you can actually earn a globally recognized qualification. All right. Because here in Ascenda, of course, we do have a lot of accreditations working closely with a lot of organizations, not just in Canada, but in the US as well, which will give you more credentials in terms of like you working in the global market. And in terms of like the immigration, of course, you are eligible to apply for a PGWP up to 3 years. Okay. And maybe the question that you do have here is that do we offer some sort of like scholarship or like the admission grant? All right. One thing that I'm actually happy to share with you guys right now is that we can now offer you up to 15,000 Canadian dollars admission grant. All right, if ever that we're going to convert it into peso, that is roughly around 600,000 pesos. And definitely that is a huge chunk that will be cut off, that will be removed from the expenses that you have to pay for your tuition fee. And the best thing about this is that for Ascenda, if ever that you do have your spouse already, you do have a family, and you're looking into moving to Canada together with your family, then definitely we can offer you an open work permit for your spouse. All right, so that's something that we can offer you in Ascenda. But of course, the main or the golden question here is that how much will be the tuition fee, right? So I will just give you like a sample of our tuition fee competition, and this is mainly for Bachelor of Hospitality Management. I guess a lot of you were able to browse through other schools and other programs that they're offering for culinary, for hospitality management. But for Ascenda, what we are actually offering it is actually 39 courses. So we're talking about courses is more of like subjects. So 39 subjects, and we do have three that is actually 3 courses per term. So ibig sabihin, tatlong subjects lang meron ka per term. All right, which is really minimal lang siya. So if ever that we're gonna think about it, the schedule that you're gonna have and per week is actually, let's just say 3 subjects per week times 3 hours or 4 hours. That will give you 9 to 12 hours per week lang. So definitely you do have an ample time for you to visit a lot of tourist spots for you to establish your network in Canada or in Vancouver. And not only that, you get the chance to meet new people in Canada. So definitely, if you're looking into minimize your program duration, we can actually do that. A lot of Filipinos, what they're doing in order for them to have it like for 2.5 years lang, they are actually taking 4 to 5 courses per term. All right, which is still minimal, and they can still work part-time pa rin naman na. So in terms of like the computation, the tuition fee per year is actually $19,080. And then actually the tuition fee per term is 4,770. If ever that we're going to think about it, I know that a lot of you were able to browse through some of the website of other schools. You might be saying right now, Rolly, medyo mataas kasi yung tuition fee nyo, so we can't afford that. All right, and that is the reason why we are now providing $15 admission grant. All right, how will that affect your tuition fee? All right, if we're going to think about it, if we're going to deduct $15,000 dollars for the whole program duration, then definitely you are just looking into 14,464.62. This is the more of like an estimated amount of your program fee for the whole year. All right. And then per term, we're just looking at $3,616.16 per term. So if we're going to break down this panga per month, that is just more than 1,000 lang per month. All right. So definitely, if you're going to think about it, make sure that you are going to compare the tuition fee with the admission grant that we're offering right now. Because I know that you might be seeing a lot of like the schools they're offering like 17,000, 18,000. But of course, that is the reason why we are exclusively giving this to the joiners or attendees that we do have now here in this session for you to avail this with CIC. All right, so maybe the other thing that you do have here is that how much will be the initial deposit? How much do we have to pay? Or how much do we have? Yeah, how much will be the initial payment that we have to, shell out if ever that we're going to consider Acsenda School of Management? All right, what we're doing now, please take note that the whole initial deposit is 5,000 Canadian dollars. All right. So maybe the initial reaction that you do have here, oh, it's kind of big, $5,000. All right. What we are now doing for Filipinos, we are giving this for Filipinos for instead of you paying $5,000 upfront, we are now just giving it on staggered payment. How are we going to do that? Once you receive your LOO, or the letter of offer from our school, once you were able to complete your requirements and you receive that letter, you just have to settle 2,500 Canadian dollars. And I hope that's really a good amount for you to settle, right? And after that, once you receive your letter of acceptance, once you were able to complete your requirements and settle that payment, hopefully you get the chance to have your LOA or the letter of acceptance within 5 to 7 business days. And then you just have to settle the remaining $2,500 once your visa is actually granted. Sounds good? I hope that is actually something that is interesting for you to hear, because definitely that is something that we are doing right now in order for us to somehow help you out in terms of like your journey and living and studying in Canada. But of course, please be mindful in terms of like the other additional, let's just say, fees that will be added on the tuition fee, let's just say application fee, but you don't need to worry about that, because definitely if you're going to sign up right now with CIC, that is actually waived already. But definitely later on during your breakout session or your one-on-one session, they can further discuss that with you. So I know that you might be asking, you might be seeing a lot of like videos on YouTube offering a lot of grants and offers from other schools. And this is something that I'm actually happy to share with you. All right, if you're going to take action right now, and then you are actually capable, or you are now eligible rather, in this grants that we are offering. So I have discussed already the 15,000 admission grant, but maybe the other question you have here is that how is it automatic, or do we need to have like a good grades? So you don't need to worry about having a good grades. You don't need to be like a valedictorian or like an honor, like like a quality or like a top of class student. You don't need to worry about that, because once you were able to receive the letter offer, and once you were able to settle the initial payment, then you are automatically being given the $15 Canadian dollars admission grant. All right, so what are the other grants that we can offer for you? All right, so I hope you're actually excited about this, because if ever that you were able to settle your initial deposits within 7 business days, you are eligible to get 500 Canadian dollars that will be deducted on your next term. All right, if you're going to think about it, $500 if you convert it into peso, you're actually saving roughly around $15 to $16. All right. And on top of that, I know that maybe the question that you have here is that are we doing some sort of like online classes right now, or is it like a face-to-face classes right now? So since there is actually a surge right now in Canada in terms of like the new variant of coronavirus, so we are now doing an online. But before, I think that was October, we've done the hybrid classes wherein we're doing face-to-face at the same time online classes. So what we're doing right now, in order for us to help you in terms of like your online classes, you can take advantage of this laptop grant. And this is exclusively for our Filipino students, wherein this will give you a chance for you to buy a new laptop. All right, if you're gonna search, I think HP, Lenovo, they're selling it for roughly around 22,000 to 30,000, and that will already cover the 600 laptop brand. And of course, this will be deducted on your tuition fee on the next term. All right. So the other thing that we do have here is the 800 online start grant naman. So this 800 Canadian dollars. So let's just say this is actually more of those students. So let's just say you weren't able to, your visa was not granted, and right now you would like to reapply. And in order for us to build your case stronger, for you to have your visa be granted, then definitely you can start online classes right now for Acsenda. All right. And this will not affect your PGWP. All right. Because definitely you can start your online classes. So definitely nag-aaral ka na. And then once your visa is granted, pwede ka nang pumunta ka agad sa Canada. So that's something that you might want to consider, because we are now accepting online classes for our April 2022 intake naman. All right. The best thing about it is that nag-aaral ka na nga dito, that is actually saving you a lot of money in terms of like you living in Canada. You are still granted of 800 Canadian dollars. So which is roughly around, I'm not really good in math, but let's just see, 20,000 pesos. So that is actually a huge amount of money that you can actually save. You are already studying, you are getting your degree already in Canada while you are actually studying online just here in the Philippines. So the last thing that we are now offering in Acsenda, I'm just being time conscious. Sorry, Miss Regina. So I would like to share this one as well, the $75 airport transfer grant. I understand that when you actually move to Canada, all right, it's really difficult for you, especially kapag single ka lang, mag-isa ka lang, you don't even know what to do, how are you going to commute, or how are you going to the hotel, or to your family or folks. Then definitely you don't need to worry about spending a lot of money, because definitely we are giving you a $75 airport transfer as well, so that will help you to accommodate you in terms of like you commuting to the place that you're going. All right, so one last thing that I would like to highlight here is that, what if your visa is not granted? All right, worst comes to worst, well, we don't hope that this will happen to you, but can we actually refund? Can we actually get our money back if ever that we're gonna if ever that our visa is approved? Well, definitely there is a 100% refundable if ever that your visa is actually refused. All right, but I just want to set expectations here that there will be like an admin fee of $300 to $500 for the processing of your refund. But other than that, there will be no deduction. All right. So that is actually for Acsenda, but for RB2s, definitely one thing that you would like to consider, if ever that you think the tuition fee is a bit too high still, and then the duration is a bit too long for you still, then definitely you might want to consider Arbiters College. Because the first thing that you want to think about for Arbiters College is that you can earn Canadian work experience through co-op program. Because definitely you do have an OJT, or you do have like a hands-on experience for 6 months. All right. Or that depends on the program that you do have. All right. And if ever that you don't have IELTS as well, you don't need to worry about that, especially if ever that you're afraid in taking IELTS. All right, you can actually take our English placement for RB2s, and that is totally for free. You don't need to worry about spending extra money just for you to have like an English placement. All right, the next one is convenient and manageable schedule. Great, which is great for a student who is actually working and studying. All right, because you get the chance to choose your schedule. All right. And in terms of like, is there a way for me to have like a pathway to complete my, or for me to earn PGWP? Well, definitely you can actually do that. All right. Because you can have a university transfer program. So if ever that you're interested in having a PGWP, you can actually transfer to a different university. Then might as well, you might want to consider completing your pathway program to Acsenda, which is a bachelor's degree as well. All right, and the last point that we do have, just like what I mentioned earlier, is affordable program fees with short duration of programs. So speaking of affordable programs, all right, this is the sample estimated tuition fee that we are offering for our Filipino students. So with other countries, especially in India, Sri Lanka, especially in South Asia region, all right, this is the amount that we're offering, $12,155. All right, which is actually here in the Philippines, it's $9,780, and we're going to waive the 200 application fee. Actually, that's actually included. My bad. That is actually included for if ever that you're going to apply for Arbiters. But we do have an ongoing grant right now that we are offering for exclusively for Filipino students, and this is for our April intake. All right, if you're interested in doing an online class for Arbiters, then definitely the whole tuition fee, the whole program fee for the whole year is actually just $8,780, and we're going to waive the application fee. Definitely, it if you're going to browse through YouTube, Google, there are, numerous number of schools who are offering this kind of low tuition fee across Canada. So if ever that you're looking into, if you do have a minimal budget right now and you would like to take advantage of having like a diploma course and having like a co-op, which will give you an OJT, then definitely you can take advantage of Arbiters College. All right. And the other thing that I've mentioned earlier about Arbiters is that you can choose the pathway program. So let's just say minimal lang yung budget natin ngayon, and ang kaya lang natin bayaran for the first year is actually for Arbiters. Then you might want to consider Arbiters, and then you get a chance to work full time, or you get a chance to do an OJT or for our co-op program. So you get a chance to earn and save money, and you can have a 2 to 3 years program with Acsenda, and which will give you a pathway for a postgraduate work permit, and that will give you a pathway as well for your immigration requirements. All right. The best thing about this is that if ever that you're going to take advantage of these pathway programs, we can now give you a low tuition fee deposit of $3,500. All right. And you can actually get 2 LOAs. Ano yung kagandahan nito? What is beneficial for this is that this will definitely help you to build a stronger case study plan for your immigration requirements. Definitely our advisors will further discuss about that, but rest assured, if ever that you're going to consider this, it is actually the best thing or pathway that you can actually have for our two institution. So I hope you're pretty much excited on what are the things that you have to prepare if ever that you're gonna study in Canada. So of course, you just have to study application. You just have to complete your requirements, and the requirements that we have are application form, copy of passport, copy of diploma, copy of academic reports, proof of English. So again, for Arbiters, if you're not really into IELTS, all right, you just have to take our entrance or like English placement examination. And then for Acsenda, you don't need to worry about taking IELTS as well, because definitely you do have a lot of options that you can take. But I would highly recommend the Duolingo, because the mere fact that it's actually cheap, or I mean affordable, all right, then definitely the required result for that is 110 only. All right, so let's just say you're not really into that as well, and you are a bachelor's degree graduate already, then you can actually just go to your university or college and just request for a medium of instruction. So kukuha ka lang, punta ka lang na registrar and ask for a certification lang or this medium of instruction saying that the medium of instruction is English. So that is pretty much easy, or the best way for you to study or for you to complete your requirements in English, for English requirements. All right. And that is mainly for STS. All right. So the admission process here, How long will it take for you to process your visa or for you to process your application with our schools? Well, definitely, all you have to do once you just have to submit all the requirements to your preferred agency, which is CIC. All right, once you are able to complete your requirements, then definitely after that you will be issued a letter of offer. All right, indicating there your courses, the amount that you have to settle, and definitely you just have to sign that letter, and then you have to settle the payment as well. Once we receive the copy of payment or the receipt of your payment, then definitely we are going to send you a letter of acceptance. All right, that letter of acceptance, that is actually something that you can actually use for your study permit or for you to submit your visa. So the processing time for this is roughly around 5 to 7 business days only. Rest assured that we do have our valid partner here, which is CIC, and definitely we're going to work closely with them in order for us to expedite the process and in order for us to help you in making sure that you're going to get your LOO and LOA from our two institutions. All right. So if you're now excited about when will be the start of the classes, kailan ba kaya ako pwede pumunta ng Canada if I'm going to, apply for our intake dates, or ito yung tinatawag natin na start date ng klase. All right. For Acsenda, we do have 4 terms. All right, so we do have in January, which is nag-start na, and then of course we are accepting for online classes for April, and then we do have an intake dates as well for July and October. And then for Arbiters, we do have a flexible intake dates, so you get the chance to choose a lot of options because we do have monthly intakes. All right, so definitely you just have to choose as the one is your most suitable intake for you. All right, so that's pretty much it. I hope I was able to give you a clear overview about how are you going to choose a school, what are the things that you have to consider in choosing school. And I hope that if you're looking into a practical education with your long-term immigration requirements, then I hope that you might want to consider our two institution. So thank you for your time. I'm now going to give the floor to Ms. Regina.
Thank you for that very informative presentation. I'm sure you have a lot of questions right now. So we are going to proceed with our Q&A. Please feel free to type in your questions to our chat box and I will read them for you. Rolly, we have here one question from our attendee. The grants, the admission grants that we mentioned earlier, the 500, 600, and the 75 will be deducted to the 50,000 Canadian admission grants.
No, that is actually on top of the 15,000 Canadian dollars. So if we're going to do the math for that, it's roughly around 18 to 19,000 Canadian dollars so that you can actually save. All right, so if you're going to convert that into peso, you are already saving roughly around $700. Oh, sorry, 700 pesos. All right, so gano'n kalaki yung matitipid natin.
Wow, that's a big savings for them, no? Kasi if we try to compute yung total, aabot ng 17,000 Canadian dollar, right?
Yes.
Tapos kung i-waive pa natin yung application fee, that's additional pa. Exactly. So that's a big savings for all of our attendees now. So another question here. Teka muna ha, nawala yung chat box ko. Okay.
No worries.
There's a second question, but I think I can answer this one. If I avail the program and I want my wife and 2 kids come with me, could it be possible for them to join me? Ang dependent sa British Columbia is up to 18 years old. Is that correct or 19 ba? Rolly? Up to 19 or 18 years old ang pwede nilang dalhin?
18 po.
18, all right. Now, sino yung question, no? Si Sir Kim, if you are approved as a family, you can bring your spouse and he will be able to work full-time with you in Canada, and any accompanying children will be able to study as well for free. Yung from elementary to high school po. Okay? Yan, 8 and 4 years old, yes. You can bring them with you. Okay. Balik tayo while waiting for the others to send their questions in. We mentioned about the Acsenda School of Management that we are offering degree programs for this, particularly business management. Is that right?
Yes, business
Yes.
management. Actually, we do have different concentrations or like majors. So for business, Bachelor of Business Administration, so we do have general business management. We do have the marketing, accounting. We do have international trade, and the latest program or the latest concentration that we do have right now, especially ito yung kasi alam naman natin na lumalaki na yung IT industry sa Canada. We now have the management of information system. So this will definitely help you to build your career in IT in terms of like the BBA for MIS. So those are the programs that we are offering.
That's good for those who are interested to study like data analyst,
Yes.
become data scientist, no? So that's another option for you. And another bachelor degree that they're offering is the Bachelor of Hospitality Management. And
Yes, that's true.
broad din, marami din concentrations under that program like culinary management, right?
Culinary, we do have F&B. So there's a lot of options that you can have. Yung hospitality management namin kasi, we are not just focused on one. All right. What we're doing here is that we want to make sure that once our students actually graduated that specific program, yung parang kaya mo lahat gawin once you graduated or once you completed that program.
That's good to know. And a follow-up question, if ever the student is already a bachelor graduate in the Philippines, they can apply for a credit transfer, correct?
Yes,
And they can finish
absolutely.
the bachelor degree in just two and a half, is that right?
Yes. So just to clarify that matter, definitely that depends on your credentials, all right, and that depends on your the evaluation of our admissions team. All right. So what will happen here is that you just have to provide all your credentials, let's just say TOR, what the syllabus or like the subject description so that our admissions team can actually cross-check that with the subjects that we are offering. But again, this is more of like for the elective subjects that you do have in the Philippines. So most of the students that we do have para na-credit sa kanila is mga 10 courses or that's like 10 subjects. So that's possible naman. But of course, we are not giving you like a specific number here, no? So at the end of the day, it depends on your credentials still.
Right. And the school siguro accreditation
Yeah.
yung
And then
kung
kung
saan
masipag ka pa
nag-finish.
din, gawin natin na gusto mo, 4 na subjects ka in just one term. So definitely, that will minimize the duration of your program as well.
Right. So, etong bachelor program, can the old curriculum, yung mga high school graduate ng old curriculum can apply directly or meron tayong prerequisite for admission?
Yeah, that is a great question, Miss Regina. So definitely we don't have any prerequisite, all right, for other students who are graduate of old curriculum of high school, then definitely they just have to submit their required, just the typical requirements. They just have to submit that, and we have to make sure that they do have the English exam or like the English placement exam. And of course, we're going to have like another session for them to have like an interview with our admissions. But of course, it's case to case basis.
And there's a follow-up question here from Paulino. I'm just only 2 years college graduate. So this also applies kasi yung high school na old curriculum po natin is
Yeah.
accepted din sa Acsenda. Oo.
Yeah.
And there's one medical course, ay ano ba yan? Ako po kasi medical field, meron po ba pwede course as a ladder to my field? So pwede ba
Yeah.
yung, meron ba tayong option for them?
It depends. Actually, every time I hear that question, I really wanted to ask, what is your goal in Canada? All right, because if your goal is for you to work still in the same, a field, then definitely I would highly suggest that you can actually look for a school who offers, allied health. All right. But if your goal is for you to add more skills, for you to advance your credentials and your career in Canada, all right. So let's just say in the Philippines, you are a nurse and you are currently like a supervisor. All right. In order for you to build your career and in order for you to build your credentials or resume, then you might want to consider Bachelor of Business Administration, because that will give you a more holistic approach in terms of like business management. How are you going to handle people? It talks about your leadership skills. So that's something that you might want to consider as well.
It will affect din kasi yung post-study plan po natin. If we are into health or health-related, so maybe ang plan natin later on after you finish the program is yung business na established related din po doon sa program
Oo.
na natapos. Alright? Meron pa bang question dito? Balik tayo dun sa program na na-mention mo kanina. There's a 12 plus 12. Is that for Arbutus or for Acsenda? That's for
Yes, so
Arbutus.
that is for Arbitus. So for Arbitus, that is a 12 plus 12, so 12 months of academic program and 12 months of co-op.
Okay, that's a co-op. But if they plan to have a postgrad work permit, we can connect it as a university pathway, either to
Yes.
other university or to Acsenda mismo para mas mabilis. Kasi you
Yes.
will be issuing two acceptance at the same time. So
Yes.
pag-apply pa lang, the visa officer will see that your program is good for 2 to 3 years or more or bachelor degree. Saka maganda din po kasi instead of getting just a diploma program, you will be able to receive a degree, a bachelor degree
Yes,
in
exactly.
Canada. Yung kasi yung medyo questionable sa mga nag-a-apply, parang nagda-downgrade sila taking a program hindi for upgrading, no? So,
It's more like talagang
oo.
leaving you para long-term goal talaga tayo.
Opo, ang long-term goal. Kasi most of our applicants, I'm sure they will agree, their goal naman talaga is to settle permanently in Canada. All right.
Exactly.
There's another question po dito. Once I applied for this program, ito natapos na pala. No? Na-answer na po natin ito, sir. When we apply for your application as a family, then included po yung dependent, but you have an option to submit an application as single student po muna, then later on the dependent can follow. All right? Is that another application? Yes, you will have to pay additional application fee, visa fee, when you submit your visa application. Question from Agnes. Do we have co-op programs po? I think na-mention mo kanina. Arbitus and Acsenda too, right?
Yeah. So for Acsenda, we are offering internship. So for BBA or like the business administration, we offer 3 months unpaid internship. All right. And then for BHM or Bachelor of Hospitality Management, we are offering 6 months paid internship. All right. Even though that you are actually unpaid for BBA, but if you're going to think about it, having an internship for these companies will give you a benefit of having an endorsement or like referral if ever you're looking into a long term of working experience in Canada. Kasi if I'm not mistaken, very minimal lang yung mga universities and universities or colleges who are offering this kind of internship. But in terms of like co-op, all right, definitely for RB2s, we are offering co-op programs. So automatic, that's the reason why we do have the 6+6 and then 8+8 and 12+12. The other half of your program duration or the other half of your stay for RB2s is actually co-op naman po, wherein you can actually work for up to 40 hours naman siya. So ganun kaganda yung Arbitus naman, which will help you to practice your skills talaga, no?
So follow-up question, yung 40 hours allowed for the co-op, that's on top of the 20 hours allowed ng government, right? For the students.
Exactly.
And paid pa siya. Magkano kaya estimate ng average nung sa co-op natin?
So for the co-op kasi that depends still on the company. But the average wage in Canada right now is 15.2 Canadian dollars. But let's just say $15 na lang siya. If you're gonna compute it for like 40 hours, then we're looking at $2,400 dollars, no? So that's something that you can actually use. And pwede mo nang pambayad sa rent mo kung nag-apartment ka.
That's big enough. Plus the open work permit income pa, di ba? So as a student, you will be earning kahit nasa ano ka pa, still studying, no? Sa co-op, that's a full-time work already. Okay. By the way, balik tayo dun sa grants. The 15,000 will reflect naman dun sa LOA ng student. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely indicated in the LOO actually, on the letter of offer.
Okay, so that's a 15,000 admission grants if you start your application and study in Acsenda. That's a really big help na. Kasi sa average po ng tuition fee, tatakbo yan ng mga 19,000 per year. So with the less, i-divide yan ng 2 years, right? yung 15 natin.
Yeah.
Oo, so may 7,000 ka for the first year ng discount, big discount. And ang initial deposit for the school requirement is only 5,000. Now, they are allowing you to pay for only 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah. So actually, that's still 5,000 Canadian dollars. The whole amount that you have to pay for the initial deposit is still 5,000. But para at least mas madali lang, no, in terms of like preparing your resources, we're going to divide it into two payments. So 2,500 once you receive your LOO, and then 2,500 once your visa is granted na.
Right.
So,
and yung full tuition for the first term, kailan naman ang junior, Ronnie?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wasn't able to clarify this because if ever that we're talking about 5,000 initial deposit, that will already cover your first term. Right? Because if you've
That's
noticed
good.
on my presentation, 4,700 lang ang first term natin or per term natin. So once you were able to settle the 5,000 Canadian dollars initial deposit, that will already cover your initial term or the first term. In Acsenda.
Okay, that's a good kasi yung iba magjuju agad before the class starts, and that will require you around 7 to 8,000 Canadian dollar to pay in full.
And others are actually asking, sorry to interrupt, others are asking like a 1 year pa talaga na payment.
1 year.
But in Acsenda and Arbiters, you don't need to worry about that. All you just have to worry is just the initial fee. So for Acsenda, it's 5,000. And then for Arbiters, it's just roughly around 2,000 to 3,000 dollars. So ganun lang kababa. And kung i-consider niyo nga, sorry, I'm just giving a lot of information right now. If you're going to consider two schools, you just have to pay 3,500 for the initial deposit.
Oh,
ganun
yes?
Lang. Yeah.
With the Arbiters and the Acsenda, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're exclusively giving this to we're exclusive. This is the first time that I've actually said this. We're exclusively giving this to CIC, ha?
Wow.
Yeah.
Ang
I haven't
bait
said
ng
it to anyone
Acsenda
yet.
with CIC. Okay.
Yes.
So start na po kayo with Acsenda School of Management. And alam mo, Rolly, the good thing din, no? Kasi our company has recently opened a branch also in Vancouver. Whereas yung purpose niya is to help yung students and the open work permit holders to find a job. As soon as the class starts or nag-land sa Canada, we will assist them all throughout. And even after their program, makakapag-assist pa rin kami for your PR application. So, balik tayo dun sa question from Kim Steven. What if you want to study for just 1 year? There's an option for this for you under Arbiters College, and connect po tayo with the study pathway para po ma-extend yung study permit stay nyo sa Canada under postgrad work permit. So yung suggestion, meron available programs si Rolly na 6+6, that's a 2 program already, o kaya piliin nyo yung 12+12 na program.
That is actually the safest, let's just say most recommendable na program that we're offering. Siyempre, of course, in terms of like immigration, I know that advisors will definitely discuss this, but you have to consider your age, you have to consider your profile, and if you're looking into a long-term goal talaga, definitely the 12+12 is the most recommended program for you.
Yes, and with Acsenda, we also have an in-house consultant, right? Opo.
Yes.
So sa mga students, you will be assisted by the immigration consultant ng school. Marami silang career pathway that will help you find a job after you finish the program. So
actually, not just only after finishing the program. What we're doing here in Acsenda and Arbiters as well is that we do have the mentoring program wherein we are helping our students in terms of like how are you going to create your resume, because definitely the resume that we do have here in the Philippines is totally different with the resume in Canada. That's right? True. They normally call it like CV or curriculum vitae, talaga yung ina-ask nila. And on top of that, we are doing some sort of like trainings or like the mentorship program where we are helping the students in terms of like how are you going to answer an interview. So yun yung mga ginagawa natin. And earlier, just like what I've mentioned with Acsenda, we do have now this digital platform, which is Jobs Connect, Acsenda Jobs Connect, wherein you can easily look for a job in our portal na kung saan that will build you more credibility if you are a student of Acsenda. Alright? Hindi mo na kailangan pa maghanap na kausapin yung mga kapwa Pilipino mo para lang maghanap ka ng trabaho, because definitely we do have our own portal. So if you're pretty much familiar with LinkedIn, JobStreet, Acsenda has their own portal for you to browse through a certain job.
Oo, kasi yun yung question usually pag, especially if mga one-year program, no? Paano mag-apply agad for permanent residency? So the one-year work experience you will get in Canada is a really big help na makapag-process ka agad. Kung may tutulong yan na makakuha ka agad, that's a very fast processing for your end. So I think meron pa po bang question dito? Discuss ulit natin yung intakes. The good thing about Arbiters College, they have monthly. Is that correct? Monthly intake. So kung hindi mo, kung plan mo pa umabot ng pumasok ng October this year, November this year, hindi pa dumating yung result ng visa application mo, then we can defer to the next intake. For Acsenda naman, was that October and what else?
We do have January, April, July, and October. So if ever that you're interested, normally ba, Miss Regina, gano'n ba kahaba ang visa processing? 3 to 6 months, right?
Mahaba na yan. Usually 2 months, 2 to 3.
If you're excited na, maybe you can actually take the July intake pa nga eh. Pero don't worry about that kasi if ever man, at sabi nga ni Miss Regina kanina, if ever man na hindi man makakuha pa or wala pang result yung visa nyo, pwede natin silang i-defer. So pwede natin i-move ng other intake naman na. So you don't need to worry about that. And of course, I would like to highlight lang, Miss Regina, no, we do have the online classes. So baka meron dyan na estudyante na dito baka waiting na lang talaga sila sa visa approval nila or talagang gusto nila mag-reapply or gusto nila mag-apply ngayon at gusto nila mag-online classes. Kung papayagan ni Miss Regina, they can do online classes na. And then you can avail the $800 online grant.
Wow.
So it's up to you naman. So at the end of the day, it's still your decision. It's your discretion naman.
So if you apply now, you get all the benefits of the promotions that we have right now for Acsenda, the admission fee, the early acceptance. Take note, they will only process your LOO for 7 days. Is that correct? 7 days. And if you were able to pay the initial deposit, you will be entitled to the early acceptance na $500. Okay, and meron ka pang laptop budget, no? Agad.
So kung gusto mo ng MacBook, then you have $600, magdadagdag ka na lang ng another 20 to 30,000 na lang, no? Kasi roughly around $600 is just 30,000 na. Pero yung mga magandang laptop na, like HP Lenovo, that's roughly around 22,000 to 30,000, and that's a good, meron na silang good specifications na. So, and that's all yours na, ha? Pwede mo na gamitin din yung laptop na yun after graduating. Hindi namin kukunin yung laptop na yan.
Okay, and any program na kinuha online will be accredited naman to your postgrad work permit in the future. So wag na po kayo maproblema dyan. So okay na yan. And do we have any arrival services available for international students when they arrive?
Yep, we do have the airport transfer, which is $75 that you can actually use if you're going to ride a taxi or like a cab. Then definitely you can actually use that one as well, and it will be deducted on your next term naman sa tuition fee.
And any assistance in terms of accommodation?
Accommodation, yes. Great. In terms of like accommodations, because what will happen here, once you were able to get the LOA or letter of acceptance, this is specifically for Arbiters, you will be getting like a pre-boarding form that you have to fill out, and kasama na doon yung pre-boarding form doon, kasama na yung list of accommodations. So yung mga partners namin na accommodations that will give you some sort of like discounts. All right. So yun yung mga we will provide you those lists of accommodations that you can actually avail naman.
So hindi na kayo problema. Okay. Another question from Cheryl. Magkano po ulit ang initial na babayaran? Just to give you an idea, if you start your application now, actually with Acsenda admission, we will not apply the admission fee, right? Waive po natin yung admission fee. Tama po ba, sir? Baka magkamali ako magbayad. May promo po ba tayo dito or sa Arbiters lang po yun?
Sorry, ma'am, can you repeat the question? I kind of
the
lost
application fee.
Yeah.
Can we waive them for those for our attendees right now? Nandito sa Zoom meeting, ang dami po
Yeah.
nating attendees, no?
So for Arbitus, we are going to waive the application fee. All right. And that is for our April intake. Let me know kung hindi man sila abot ang April intake, Miss Regina. All right. That is actually a communication na lang between Miss Regina. But rest assured that we're going to waive the application fee naman if you're going to start
Mm-mm.
sending your applications now with CIC. For Acsenda School of Management, that's automatically being waived naman na, no, for our applicants if ever that you're going to consider Acsenda.
Wow. Okay. So yung po, Ma'am Cheryl, waive po ang application. Don't have to pay anything right now. And if you're interested to start, please send me. I will give you I will give my account that you can connect with me directly. No, send your credentials like transcript of records. Then we can start the process for free for the Acsenda. With regards to the processing of your study permit, it can come after kasi 7 days lang may LOO na. Then you
Yes.
can start with CAC for as low as 15,000 to study
Wow.
pathway po yan. Okay, so that is our promo also for this month. To all our attendees right now and viewing our live webinar, please connect with us as soon as possible so we can guide you on how to start your admission process with Acsenda. Priority natin kayo. And Rolly will also prioritize the issuance of your acceptance, no? Para umabot pa tayo for this year. Kaalis agad
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
Canada. Oo.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. Definitely that's the reason why we do have a partnership with CIC. Rest assured that we're going to help you out in terms of like your documentations, your papers. CIC has been in the business for quite some time, and definitely they are one of the best, agencies that we are currently working with. Actually, ang baba ng binibigay nila tama ba? 15K? Miss
Initial deposit po
initial
yun.
deposit,
Opo.
di ba?
Discuss namin yung whole process later on.
That's actually super low as compared to any
Mm-mm.
other agencies talaga. Well, let us know if there's something that we can help you with. All right, kung gusto nyo na in just 5 days, 5 business days yan, we're gonna work closely with CIC team for that. All right.
Okay po. So, again, kay Kim Steven, clarify lang natin agad, if you get a 1-year program with any schools, no, ang equivalent po na allowed to work for the postgrad work permit is only 1 year din po. So, if you are planning to extend, better take the 2 or the 3 years program in Canada. So, you will get a 3 years work permit or postgrad work permit. Okay? So, Narciso, sir, if you are planning to start now, we can guide you on how to start and with regards to the admission process. But still, we need your payment for the tuition kasi hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-continue without paying that. And that's part of the requirement of the visa office that they can see na you can afford to study in Canada. All right? So, any more questions? Meron pa po ba? Wala na yata, ano? Any other questions from anyone? All right, if we don't have any more questions, thank you so much. I think that's our last question for this afternoon with Acsenda School of Management. If you wish to help us with your admission process, your requirements, please stay in the meeting and we will guide you after our session, all right? Rolly, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes. Thank you,
Do you
Miss.
have any last words before we end the presentation with Acsenda?
Sure. Of course, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Regina, for giving me this time, this session for me to, to share the opportunities that people can actually get in Canada. I understand that right now you are still indecisive as to what will be the course, the program that you would like to take, but we do have CIC team here who's going to guide you with your journey in Canada. One thing that I would like to say, the more that you prolong your decision, the more na nawawala yung alam mo yun, yung chances mo of going to Canada. That's something that I did way back when I was 26 years old. I've been in a quarter life crisis and I don't even know what to do in my life. I really wanted to earn more. I wanted to have a new culture. I wanted to have a new life. And what I did on that point, when I actually felt that kind of urge, I decided right away. I took actions right away. And this is a great opportunity for you to work closely or for you to talk with with the advisors of CIC right now. And definitely they can actually help you with your journey in Canada. So that's pretty much it. Again, thank you everyone. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I get the chance to get to know the story once you graduated in Acsenda and Arbiters. Thank you
Yes.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Rolly. Hope to see you again in our future webinar.